Yes, guys, welcome from me, Challenge Strateger 0102, the Fantasy Football Kickabout, Part 3. So, we have now got to the end of 16 seasons. That's how much we've advanced since the previous part. It's taken a while because the holiday inn has only just started to work better for me. I kept getting a few crashes, but it seems to have been sorted now. So 16 seasons we've now advanced through. We're at the start of season 17, as you can see by the date there, it's 2011. You may recall from the previous part we had one player who we weren't able to get any history on. He was a latecomer, and that was Rob Kennedy, who was playing as Eric Cantona because he retired. So we had 55 players ready for the next part. We've lost 11 of them. A lot of which you're going to know that who we're going to have lost. We've lost Justin, who of course was Vinnie Jones. We've lost Luis Binks, who was Paolo Maldini. Gary Hanks, who was Dennis Bergkamp. We've lost Steve Harl, who was Gabriel Batistuta. Eben, who was Alan Shearer, has gone. Gary Johnson, who was Neil Lennon, has gone. Colin Fisher, and I've had a mind blank, I can't remember who you were, Colin, but you've gone. John Maurice, who was Roy Keane, has gone. Lewis Gilbert has gone. Matt Block has gone. F1 Crazy has gone. Which means we have 44 players left. And surprisingly, the one player that didn't go, because I didn't expect F1 Crazy to go, but I did expect Panos to go. But Panos hasn't gone. So, are you ready for this now then, guys? We are, like I said, 16 years in. So all those little one-year-olds will all be 17, 18 now. You know, and hopefully everybody will have a team. So we're going to go in order of age, starting with the oldest. Our first player we go through is Panos, 37 years of age, 140 caps, but it looks like he could be about to go. Oh, he's a manager. Oh, he's a manager. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? But he has still got playing abilities. Okay, so Panos, you had a £51 million move, didn't you, Panos? Yeah. So another big move to Inter. Or back to Inter, shall I say, sorry. Sampdoria. Yeah. Very, very successful, Panos. I'm not even going to bother going to your achievements. The chances are you won shit. Look at that. Well done, Panos. Thomas Tunnicliffe, 36 years of age. Have to remind myself who you were. You were David Beckham, weren't you? So it looks like you're on the brink of going. Not the greatest career in the world for you, Thomas, it would be fair to say, but you could be on the brink of going, it looks like. You're available on a free. James Rattican. James, so I remember you were at Juventus, so you got to move to Parma. Yeah, you've not done it, yeah, you've not made it, you've not set the world alight, but you have been plying your trade at Lazio, so take some credit there, take some credit. That's a strange sign-in fee there, so what, about 600 odd grand, almost? Okay, that's James Rattican done. Chris Clark, who has a bid in process at the moment. We'll look at that in a second. So he's on a free transfer, Chris Clark. Who is he again? He's Fat Ronaldo. Can I call him that? Fat Ronaldo. Chris Clark. Yeah, he's done really good there. He got a big move to Barcelona, £18 million. I mean, Chris Clark has been very, very consistent throughout his whole career. Well done, Chris. I think you should be proud of yourself there. I know you've not reached over the 800 marks, but you know what? It could be a lot worse. Personally, my pick for the last part was this guy, which was Andrew, who was absolutely brilliant. Let's see. I mean, he continued to do it for Monaco. Look at that. That is absolutely outrageous. He's slowed down a little bit, it's fair to say, as you can see, since his move to Seville. 115 caps for France. Thierry Henry, Drew Luna-Euroff doing very, very well indeed. On to Jamie Madden. Jamie Madden, that is Steven Gerrard. Look at that. Only 21 caps for England, surprisingly, but very, very consistent, particularly on the last 7-8 years. Very well done to you, Jamie. Michael Clarkson, we spoke about him, didn't we? He chose, of course, Yu-Sung Park. Yeah, it hasn't really worked out, has it? It hasn't really worked out for you, Mike. You've still got a 2-year contract. Who knows what you could achieve in those 2 years. Philip Stewart, Michael Owen. Look at that. 81 caps, 48 goals. Still valued at a nice £16 million. Currently at Perugia. So left Liverpool for Fiorentina. Did very, very well at Fiorentina. I mean, I'd have to put Philip Stewart up here then with Drew in terms of most successful. Yeah, cracking job there. Cracking job indeed, Philip. On to Boozer Adams. Hasn't broken into the England squad. Owen Hargreaves, but got a move to Leeds. Well, got a few moves actually, as you can see. Got a move to Arsenal from Bayern Munich. Legrones went back to Arsenal. Leeds. I think when you're a journeyman, you never really get the best of... You don't see the best of a player when they move that many times, personally. Ivanov from YouTube. Dimitar Berbatov. Yeah, not done it. He's not done it. Needed to make that move to a playable league. Didn't do it. John McGrath. Robbie Keane. Bosman to Willem. I forget if that was there before. I don't think it was it? And he's done very well at Willem, to be fair. He's done very, very well. 80 caps at Ireland, 48 goals. That is one hell of a ratio from John McGrath. Mark Brown, Vidic. Did he get... Oh, he got the move to a playable league, which is great. That's really important. And you can see how well he's done. So Mönchengladbach. Yeah, that's a big move to Mönchengladbach and then Werder Bremen. So I'm guessing he's German. Yeah, he's got... So yeah, that you know, would have liked to have seen him in the Premier League, but you know what? He got a move to the playable league. That's all that counts. Martin Keane, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Look at that. He certainly scored some goals. Hasn't quite reached over the 800 mark. I know he did a season or so, or one season. So yeah, he's been very, very prolific. Martin, 87 caps for Sweden, 43 goals, a goal pretty much every other game. And still a few years left in the old tank there. Ross Horn. Ross, who were you again? I can never remember. Joe Cole. One of the highest valued players, I'd say. Joe Cole. So, oh, Jesus Christ. So we knew he moved to Arsenal, didn't we? So, a move to Atletico Madrid. A move to Inter. A move to Real Madrid. And then a move back to Inter. Fuck me, Ross. You get around a bit, don't you? You've been around that block. And still a bit of time for you. Yeah, 81 caps for England. Craig Donnelly, who were you again? Rafa van der Vaart? Yeah, van der Vaart is just moved, it looks like, wants to impress his new manager. Juventus didn't really work out very well, and he's now at Napoli. Hasn't quite worked out how he wanted, I think, for Craig. On to Ian Williams, Jermaine Defoe, 1 cap for England. Hasn't really worked out how Defoe would have wanted it to. Yeah, hasn't really done it, as a Ili Stevkov, 64 caps, 19 goals as Goran Pandev. Yeah, it didn't work at Inter, did it? Got a loan move, got a Bosman move to Parma. Sarang of Belgium, never even heard of them. Never really worked out for you, did it, Ili? But you never know. Kevin Gilmartin, still only 27, looks fucking good. Iniesta, and that's a big move for you. £31.5 million, and he's probably hitting the prime of his career now, Kevin. So 62 caps for Spain, looks really good. Looks really, really good indeed. Mark Rutgers, Wesley Schneider, plenty of 20s all over the shop there, but only 1 cap for Holland. Ajax through and through. Loyalty, you can't grumble. You can't question his loyalty for Mark Rutgers. Still going for Ajax. Matt Tierney, Javier Mascherano, we said. And he's had a couple of moves. Fiorentina and AC Milan. He's been very, very prolific. Credit where it's due. 10 caps for Argentina from Matt. Philippe Darrell. He's got his move then. Thiago Silva, look at all those 20s. He got the move to Juventus, and then he got his move to Nantes. We want to see him in the Premier League. There's no doubt about that. We want to see Thiago Silva in the Premier League. On to Mike Evangelou. Mike, of course, who picked Cristiano Ronaldo. Look at him. Don't he look crazy? 50 caps, 32 goals. He's playing for Willem. Of course, quite a surprise. I mean, look at that first season at Sporting. 28 goals in 23, just like the true Ronaldo. And he's been very prolific the whole way through. Will he get another move? I would like to see him get a move. He's still got 5 years on his deal. Who knows? Mike Evangelou then looking very sharp indeed. Darrell Barrett. Got to remember who he is. Wayne Rooney. It's got to be Wayne Rooney. Yeah, looks good. Got a £250,000 move over to Chelsea. I think he had that, didn't he? And he's been prolific ever since. I say prolific. He looks better than what he's probably performed. Shane Wright, Chris Kirkland. Wow, 2 caps for England, Shane. Well done, and I think I remember you getting your move to Leeds. And you've been number 1 at Leeds, so credit where it's due here. Definitely credit where it's due for Shane Wright. Still only 25, let me remind you though. On to Matt Collier-Brown. Of course, we know who he picked. He picked Lionel Messi. Take 1 cap off, remember, on the Argentina. 25 caps. Looks absolutely ridiculous, don't he? He looks absolutely insanely ridiculous. Again, you know, not really hit the heights in terms of average rating. But still only 24. On to Stu Murta. Jamie Vardy. Now, who is he moved to? Very prolific since his £75,000 whopping move. Vigil, I don't even know who they are. They're Danish. So Denmark is open, so he's in a playable league. Nice one. That's all I'll say to you, Stu. Nice one. Pete Rudd, 23 years of age, still riding high. He is playing, of course, Karim Benzema. He's at Aston Villa. Great to see him in England, that's for definite. His first season at Villa, or second half of the season, very good indeed. Didn't really have the greatest time at Lyon, but you never know. Who knows what the future holds. Trunky from the forums. He chose Sergio Aguero. Aguero, yeah, looking good. Mönchengladbach. Had a few moves. Kazataren. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. Still only 23 years of age, of course. Carl Rhodes. Lewandowski. Werder Bremen as well. Look at that. Look how prolific is he. Very, very prolific. Still got a long contract for you. On to Michael Page. Michael Page still loan listed. He looks like, oh dear, not looking good for you, is it, Mike? Jordan Henderson, of course, he's playing and he's over at Doncaster Rovers. Let's just see where Doncaster, 3rd tier English football, not looking good. Baz Chambers looks a monster. Thiago Alcantara, Bordeaux. A move from Barcelona B, shall I say. But I still think there's a couple of big moves left in him. Plenty in the tank for Baz. Lee Rees. What is it? Eden Hazard. Not valued at much. He's at Rochester. Hasn't really got a move to Juventus. But never really given a fair crack. Onto the final page then. Lee Sylvester, the bad boy. Mario Balotelli. Still at Inter Milan. And does score, does perform. Give him a chance. Give him a fair run in the team. Mark Whittaker. Kanti. 20 years of age. Belong. Is it Belong? Is that how you pronounce it? It hasn't really had a fair crack. We'll want it. We'll want a fair crack. Trevor Choi, of course. Kevin De Bruyne, look at him. 20 years of age. We said, didn't we? Look at that. Look at that. His first season at Genk. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. A £250,000 move to Ajax. The world is at his feet. No doubt about that. David Treasurer, Mane, look at him. Mane, a Bosman move to Mane and hasn't really had a fair crack in games, goals. Who knows? Dean Milligan, that's Neymar. Look at him. He looks great, crazy, don't he? Wants to pay what he deserves. Could that swell? Yeah, I can get that. Well, he's out of contract in 2 years' time. Could Dean Milligan make a move? Who knows? Redknapp. Oh, look at that. Mo Salah. Looks good, don't he? Looks a fucking beast. Looks an absolute beast. Can I just check something very, very quickly? Okay, so he's made it to Chelsea. Interesting. Interesting choice. And that's what I wanted to check. That is very interesting. Look at that. Look what he's just won. He's just won the African Footballer of the Year. And that's going to take some... is anyone going to even get near him? That is crazy. Excuse me. I think he's going to win more, Mane's going to battle him, no doubt about that. I think I had to look at that because... Okay, so on to Alisson of Jamie Baxter. Look at that, he's getting better and better. 5 years left on his deal, needs a move, needs to get to somewhere a little bit more high profile. Wayne Chester, Ming Park, HSV. See how he flares up in the years to come. Andy Vince, Diabla, look at that. He got his moves only, look at that, ridiculous. Oh, it's unplayable. I was going to say, who the fuck is that? So what are they? Are they... Who are this... Right. Oh, right. There you go. That's where... That's why. Because they were in a playable league. They were in a playable league then. And they've been relegated out of a playable league into non-league. So I can't take that as gospel. But if it was, look at that. 41 appearances, 68 goals, 40... I mean, that is ridiculous, isn't it? Do you know what? Let's forget about the non-playable league. Let's just praise Andy Vince to what he deserves. 17 years of age. That is... He needs a move. And look at that. Well, he's got a £250,000 release clause. Somebody snap him up. On to Chair from the forums, whose move hasn't come through yet. He's going to get his move next year. Bernardo Silva. And finally, Pepe Page. Pepe, Harry Kane. He's had one season, and he had a good season, it'd be fair to say. At the age of 17, he's going to be 18 for the start of the new season. So, well done, Pep. Now, there was something that I thought I saw. And do you know what? I know who it was now. It was Thiago Alcantara. It was Baz. Right, now, do you remember we talking about Messi's been given, or James Collier has been given a cap to prevent him playing for Spain? Right, now, Alcantara, Baz Chambers, had dual nationality. We all know he's a Spanish international, Thiago, isn't he? Is he Spanish? I'm sure he's Spanish. But he's obviously been capped at under 21 at Brazilian level. Now, I don't know about the game, actually, but can you still get capped by Brazil at this point? Because it says Brazilian. I'm not 100% sure. You know, if anyone knows the answer to that, fire it in the comments. Let's see now. So, at the end of season 16, so Ross Horn is our highest valued player. Joe Cole, of course. Carl Rhodes, Lewandowski, I mean, he's still got the world at his feet, as has Matt Collier-Brown. Question is now, guys, is how many more seasons do I holiday before the next update? That's a big question. Let's take a look now then. The highest cap player, Panos, look at that. Panos, I mean, let's just see, when did Panos... let's just see, when did he sign as a manager? There it is. So, oh, it was in January. It was in January. He got the job. No, he had a job beforehand. He was manager of Foggia. Okay. Okay, there you see. So 08, he was released at Juventus. In 08, so 3 years ago, he was hired as a manager. So 3 years ago. Then he got hired a year later at Foggia. Okay. So, you know, that's interesting. Now, let's just have a look at it. So there's his coaching abilities. What I think we'll check now, because I think we need to check this. Let's have a look now. So we've had a look at Panos. Let's take a look now then at, see if Rob Kennedy has got any attributes. No, he's not in it. So let's see if Justin... No, he's not in it. Louis Spinks, are you a coach or anything? Louis Spinks, he's at Vicenza as manager. Okay, so Louis Spinks is at Vicenza as manager. That's very, very interesting. Let's just... in fact, I'm just going to make a note of players that I've got. Right, Gary Hanks, let's check, see if you have made it. No, you haven't, Gary. You fucking disgrace. Steve Harl, Gabriel Batistuta, you'd think he must have taken it. There he is. Steve Hall is the manager of Valolidad, if that's how you pronounce it. If it's not, go fuck yourselves. So Steve Hall, yeah, looks good. Certainly has some better credentials, I feel. Alan Shearer, a.k.a. Eben, yeah, there he is. He's a coach at Crystal Palace. Well, that's good to see. That is great to see. He also gets his badges. I get that. I certainly get that. Let's have a look for Gary Johnson. See if he's in the game. Don't look like he is. No, he's not. Okay. Let's have a look at Colin Fisher. No, he's not in it. Colin Fisher's not in the game. Let's have a look for John Maurice. No, John Maurice has retired out the game completely. Lewis Gilbert. No, Lewis Gilbert has gone. Matt Block. Who was Matt Block again? I can't remember. Oh, we'll find out, won't we? Del Piero, of course. So he must have only just retired, Matt Block. He is literally just retired, it looks like, because he won the Champions League. Wow. Matt Block retires on a high. He won the cup with it. He won the cup with Lazio. Hang on. No, I've got that wrong, haven't I? I've got that wrong. So he was released 2 years ago by Juventus. So that's quite surprising because he was released at the age of 36. Signed by Alava. Sorry, he had Alava's last season, and then he retired. He was then signed by Lazio as a coach. 1 month after moving to Alaves as a player. And well, it says Champions League, Champions Cup winner. I don't know if that's as a coach or what. But either way, Matt, you are the coach of Lazio. That's all that counts. You are still in the game. That's all that counts. No, F1 Crazy has gone. It would appear so. And that's it. That is, let's just put... That is the end of that. So that's it then, guys. 16 seasons gone. I think on the next update, I am really expecting to see Panos go, maybe Drew go, James go. I've at least 3 of them go. In fact, let's put it. It's not in order, is it? We're going to see a lot more go. I think, no doubt about it. We could effectively see that whole page go there. Is it 11? Yeah, we could see as many as 11 players go. Who knows? Okay, and that's it from me, guys. That is the Fantasy Football Kickabout concluded on this part. And until next time from me, guys, take it easy.